saw my first bodybuilding magazine when I was 14. I think Rich Gaspar was on the cover of it. I remember looking at it and I was like, wow, I didn't know anything about bodybuilders. And I remember looking at it going, wow, man, a man can actually look like this. You know, I'm a country boy. The most muscular thing I'd ever seen was a horse. You know, so, you know, of course my dad was a big guy or whatever, but he wasn't like, didn't look like a bodybuilder. And so I'm like, I was pretty impressed. You know, I was like, wow, that's pretty cool, man. I remember thinking, wow, I wish I looked like that. But I didn't have a clue about how to go about it other than you're supposed to lift weights. And it wasn't until I met this guy, Mark, at this local gym I used to slip in the back door and train. He kind of took me under his wing, showed me how to train a little bit. And then he wrote down some stuff. I remember he took a piece of notebook paper and kind of scribbled down some stuff to eat. I don't want to say it was a diet. Basically, I just started eating more. You know, most teenagers eat like crap. And so basically it was just like, hey, lay off the pizzas and burgers and Cokes and try to eat a little better food, which I did. And I was training for football, and I think I gained like 27 pounds that summer, just eating food and working out. And that was all I was doing. When I got ready for my first competition, they wrote down a basic program for me to follow. And you know, it was just like, hey, eat this and don't ask no questions. And so, man, I would do egg whites and oatmeal in the morning. And I put it all in the same bowl because I had to cook my own food. And so I'll put the least amount of effort into it as possible. And I would usually dump some fruit in there with it. That was breakfast. And I just eat it out of a salad bowl with a big spoon. Then the rest of the day, I would eat canned tuna fish. And I would eat chicken, rice, and potatoes. And that was it. So it was just pretty basic stuff. I didn't eat any kind of red meat back then, no game or anything. I didn't know. And as I educated myself about nutrition and, you know, nutrients and different grades of protein and different kinds of carbohydrates, simple and complex, all this stuff, that's when I started to change my diet. And, you know, I started incorporating, you know, like bison and elk and venison and, you know, fish and turkey and all these different sources of protein. Because at the end of the day, I was talking to Dorian one time, and I think we both agreed on this. It's like, oh, people say, I gotta eat fish to get lean instead of chicken or something else. That's complete bullshit. Makes no difference. And I'm eating bison, and I got just as lean as I did when I was eating chicken and fish. If you're not getting in shape, it's because you ain't doing what you're supposed to do. My heaviest weight ever was 272 at 5'7". So I was strong as shit, but I was out of breath walking up the stairs. So, which I didn't like. I always prided myself on being in very good, you know, cardiovascular shape. I'm very active. I go hunting in the mountains, and, you know, we kill elk and we pack them out on our backs and stuff. So at 272, that was happening. But I think all my personal strength records during that time. So, you know, that's just, I knew that's what I need to do. You know, I was a young pro, and I was just trying to put on as much size as I could to improve, because I knew I needed to get bigger and I had some weak points I needed to bring up. So, man, I got big and I got strong and I grew, and it paid off. I ate more calories, and I grew into when I was preparing for a show than I did in the off season. I actually grew into my diet as I was getting ready for competition. I didn't lose that much weight usually. So off-season diet, I ate good. I did a lot of appearances. I still do a lot of appearances. And but back then I did a lot of guest posing. So you know, you gotta stay in shape. You know, no one wants to see a fat ass on stage guest posing. That's not what people come for. You know, so as a pro bodybuilder, you're representing, you know, the companies you're representing, and yourself. So I always try to stay pretty lean. Therefore, my diet was pretty similar to a pre-contest diet. I just ate more carbs. There was dudes that was 310, 320, and but they'd have to kill themselves to get in shape. And once again, that went back to just being self-taught. I'm thinking, all right, why do you want to put on 50 pounds of excess weight, which is fat, and then have to turn and diet all that off? That's just more work. And like, that makes no sense. I'm like, okay, if you can gain 50 pounds, but okay, 25 of it's muscle, and yet you keep, okay, cool, but it never worked that way. You know, they gained 50 and then they died away 48 pounds of it. You know, they gained 2 pounds. Like, why not gain 10 pounds and put on 2 pounds of muscle and lose 8? I never really understood that whole concept. Yeah, you gotta gain weight, man, to grow. You gotta eat an excess amount of calories to grow. But at a certain point, come on, man, you're a pro bodybuilder. You know, you gotta represent and look like a bodybuilder. I love training, I think, more than I love competing. And I really love competing. But, you know, so I want to stay in shape.